Don't you wish decluttering was easy? You could just walk through your house like Mary Poppins, you know, blinking your eyes or snapping your fingers, and things are popping into closets, flying into a donation box, sailing into the trash can, and it's just easy and it's no stress. I wish that was reality, but of course it's not. But I wanted to share 5 steps to a decluttered home. Decluttering does not have to be as difficult as it often seems, and I hope these 5 steps are going to help you. They have helped me in decluttering our home, taking me from point A to point B, point A being I'm very stressed and the clutter is just feeling overwhelming and I'm not sure where to start, to point B, which is where the clutter is under control and I am feeling at peace and happy and enjoying being in our home. Step number 1 is to stop buying. Becky over at the YouTube channel Minimal Ease, it's an awesome channel. She did a video recently about this, and this is something that has been on my heart a lot lately. The whole idea that if you are going to walk the path of decluttering your house, you have got to stop buying. And when I say you, I mean me. This is something that has long been a struggle for me. I can get pretty good at decluttering. My decluttering muscles by this point are pretty strong, but I also have a tendency to let things into our house way more easily than I should. And so to stop buying stuff is so crucial. There's so many ways that you can go about helping yourself in this area, but I will tell you 2 for me that have been really helpful. Number 1, not going into stores. There is so much online shopping nowadays. It's honestly pretty easy to buy what you need online without going into a store. And there are certain stores that all of us have a soft spot for. If I walk into Target, there are about 25 things within about a 2 or 3 minute time period that I'm gonna see and think, oh, right, I need that. Number 2, and this refers specifically to Amazon, the Amazon wish list option is the best. The wish list item in particular, like leaving it in the cart is also effective, but the wish list option is way effective for me. I put stuff in there, and so then mentally it takes away that urgency of, oh my gosh, you know, this thing, I'm gonna lose it or I'm gonna forget about it and I really want this thing. If I put it on the list, that way I know it's bookmarked, it's there. I am not joking. 9 times out of 10, I end up deleting that stuff off of my wish list.
Delete, delete, delete.
So that says a lot to me in terms of overriding that brain function that in the moment says, I need this, I gotta have it. Number 2 is to clear and eliminate surfaces. We all know there are certain surfaces that just get hit hard with the clutter. Kitchen counters, for me, it is always my dresser. Setting up a system for not allowing things to live there. This is something that has worked very successfully for me with our kitchen counters. I just do not allow anything to stay there. I also did this with our dining room hutch. Our hutch was becoming a place where a lot of things were landing. I actually ended up pulling out my china dishes, which I had stored before in kitchen cupboards. I did it so that that surface had something on it, intentional, that made it difficult to put other things there instead. So you can do tricks like that too, where maybe you're not completely clearing the surface so that it's empty, but you're putting maybe a piece of decor there or doing something to make it more difficult for that space to clutter up. Another option if you're having trouble with surface clutter is just to eliminate the surface.
Is that even allowed? I don't know.
Some surfaces obviously can't be eliminated. Your kitchen counters aren't going anywhere. End tables or extra chairs or things. It's great to look around your house with a critical eye and say, okay, is there furniture here that is being used as clutter landing spots that we don't even really use? Number 3 is to make the delayed decision today. A lot of times the brick wall that I run into when I'm decluttering is I have come up against stuff that I have not made a decision on, that I need to make a decision on. And usually it's stuff that is not easy. Stuff that I have to have a conversation with my spouse about, maybe need to make an uncomfortable phone call, something I need to say no to, something that needs to be glued or repaired, or maybe it's missing pieces and I think,
well, the other pieces will show up,
but it's been 3 months and they haven't shown up. Or it's something that requires multiple steps where I look at it and I think, oh, I need to get to that, but I gotta do this and then I gotta do this and then I gotta do this in order to take care of that. And I can't do all that right now. I don't have time. There's any number of reasons why those decisions are delayed and those things are sitting out. But if I could give you an encouragement, and this is something that has helped me tremendously, don't try to do it all in one day. If you have something that you've been delaying on because it requires multiple steps, just list out the first couple steps you need to do. I need to do this, and then when I have that answer, I need to do this. Start the process. It's been true for me every time. Once I get the ball rolling on something like that, I've got momentum, I'm into this, and pretty soon before I know it, I've got the task accomplished, and that delayed decision that is represented by that piece of clutter sitting out can be dealt with, and I'm able to check it off my list. So like I said, I would encourage you, don't try to make all the delayed decisions at one time, but be very intentional in understanding why that's still sitting there and then mapping out the next action for yourself with that thing. If there's one thing, just one thing that needs to be done, maybe it is a difficult phone call or a conversation with your spouse or something like that, put that on your to-do list and say, I'm taking care of that now. But for the 45 delayed decisions that you see, don't try to take care of them all in one fell swoop. Just take one at a time. As you begin to knock them out, you're going to begin to have more momentum. And as you see those things disappear, those delayed decisions are just going to get easier and easier and easier, and you are just going to be that much closer to a decluttered home. Number 4, as we're looking at steps to a decluttered home, is to declutter storage areas. You might think, well, the most important things to declutter are the areas that are visible, and that's totally true, but I have learned from Dana K. White and from others that are in the decluttering space and working through this process all the time, if you declutter storage areas, that gives you a place to store things that you actually want to keep. Decluttering storage areas sounds kind of scary.
The pit of despair.
If you're like me, oh, I don't want to go in there. It's too much work. I don't want to deal with it. But decluttering those storage areas is the key to kind of bringing everything out into the light. And so often I find, I was noticing this recently, and when I was doing some decluttering in the garage, I made the whole task so scary and so big. Oh, this is going to be awful.
You are my Everest.
When you really get into it, it's just not as bad as you think it's going to be. Even just start with one key storage area. Maybe it's your entryway closet, your linen closet, your garage shelves. Like that's what I've been working on recently. You know, when you first moved into your space, you looked at those and thought, oh, this is going to be so great for storage, but it's turned to just a packed, cramped mess. When you get that cleaned out and resorted and there's space in there to store what you actually want to keep, that just does wonders for your mental well-being and feeling like you are on top of the clutter. Number 5 is to keep peeling back layers. If you have curbed the habit of buying stuff, cleared off and eliminated what surfaces you can, made the delayed decisions, cleaned out your storage areas, step 5 is the step that for me really keeps the process going, peeling back the layers. The Minimal Mom describes it as an onion. Keep taking passes, you keep decluttering. Already went through a room once, you go through it again. Already cleaned out your garage once, now you pass through it again, see what else you can get rid of. And this onion method, peeling back the layers, is so effective. As I declutter, my decluttering muscles get stronger. As I declutter, it comes more and more into focus what is actually important to me and what is not. What I want to spend the time to take care of and what I don't. And so as you continue to peel back the layers, those things become very apparent. It can be easy to think that decluttering is one and done. It can be easy to think we pass through our house quickly, we have a big declutter, oh, doesn't it feel amazing? Not realizing that there's probably actually even more that we can declutter now that we're on this journey, and that keeping your house in maintenance mode after a big declutter really does have to do with keeping those lenses on. Do we really need this? Do we have space for it? Can we live without it? Tremendously helpful for me as I sort through different things in our home and declutter different spaces.